So like the analogy I always use is like the ivory tower, right? You're in government and you're up here, and all of a sudden you're looking down and there are like these little people walking around the building, and those are the ones you have to help, and they like don't even know how to communicate with them. And so we knew we could bridge some of that gap, and we knew we could start to leverage relationships in the universities to change kind of their approach to what entrepreneurs are. And really, from the university side, I tied into fundraising. So I had U of M, MSU, Wayne State, pretty much all the state universities, and I was talking to them about like how they could support entrepreneurs. And I kept telling them, like, who are your most effective fundraising targets? And they were all people who owned companies. And I said, how many of those did you train to do those roles, right? And they didn't train any of those people to do those roles, right? But if you wanted time, talent, and treasure out of an institution, if you wanted to come back into the coffers for fundraising, helping develop entrepreneurs is a great place to be. So like I found the pain point and then like poked the pain point. So that was what opened up the universities to start to connect with us. On the EDC front, on the government front, there was a huge play for retention of talent. So we had these great universities, 3 of the top 100 research institutions in the world sitting in our backyard, and we were bleeding talent out of the state. And so we started really focusing on like how can entrepreneurship be a support play for retention, right? And that was the buzzword that I knew I could get into that door and start doing things. So through time, we started unique initiatives, and I think like to this day, like these are the types of initiatives to throw out there to support things. One of the early programs that we developed was called Linking Lansing and You. So I was at Michigan State University. We had 42,000 students on campus at the time, and none of them were doing anything organized around internships or experiential activities in the city of Lansing. So we navigated the companies within the space, said, hey, create 60, 70 internships here, whatever. And then we're going to do a programmatic experience for all the students who participate in these things, showing them where they can live, where they can play in the city of Lansing, and start to create a mesh network where they could support and help each other out, which would lead downstream into things like retention.